Say, what?
There'd have to be two of us. I couldn't manage it.
I talked to that woman from the pond.
I noticed. It didn't look like she was too pleased to see you, though.
The main thing is, she denied ever being at the pond.
It's definitely her, though. You don't forget a figure like hers.
I got the feeling she didn't want to talk about it for some reason. I did get something out of her, though.
What? Don't keep me in suspense.
Von Bergov is about to leave the castle.
Sacre! If he pledges to Sigismund before we can get to him, everything's fucked.
Calm down, let me finish. There's also going to be a big wedding in the region. Young Lord Semine, from the local noble family, is getting married. He's marrying the local bailiff's daughter. It's going to be a big event.
Why should some wedding in a shithole near Trotsky be of any interest to us?
Because it looks like Von Bergov will be there.
Oh, that's fantastic news, Henry. So all we have to do is get on the guest list. And that shouldn't be a problem because you've got a cunning plan, right?
I'll come up with something.
I hope so. You can't expect me to do the thinking for both of us all the time. We'll ask the locals and see.
There's something else we have to sort out first. I spoke to the innkeeper.
I noticed that too.
We can work off our debt. All we have to do is carry a few sacks of flour from that cart to the pantry. If we both do it, we'll be finished in no time.
Lug sacks? Are you yanking my noble pizzle?
I'm serious.
I can't work. I'm a noble. What if someone saw me?
Do you have any idea what you look like?
Well, all right. I may not look much like a noble, but my blood's still blue. People will remember my face, and when everything's cleared up, word will get around that I lugged sacks here like some beggar. As if the disgrace at the gate wasn't enough. Ugh!
You know, sir, not everyone is born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Ordinary people have to work their whole lives. So you should be able to manage it too. At least for one day.
Henry, haven't you ever heard of the 3 states of man?
Would that be some aristocratic excuse?
Not so fast. It's God's law. Oratoris, the priests who pray for us. Laboratoris, the plebs who shovel shit and pay taxes. And Bellatoris, the warriors who protect the ones on their knees or in the fields. Now, which am I? So if you find me a sword, I can get to work. But wield a pitchfork or carry sacks? That's against God and nature.
Service is kind of slow today.
So which do I belong to?
Good question. Before I'd have said you were a peasant, but it turned out that you're a noble's bastard. And you're pretty handy with a sword. And you've even been in a monastery.
I'd rather forget about that.
You're a bit of everything. But if you get your hands dirty with labour, it wouldn't be such an offence against divine order as in my case. Pure blood, noble status and that. In short, be so kind as to get to work. I promise I'll make it up to you.
Are you really not going to help me? It's just a couple of sacks.
Come now, Henry. What did I tell you about Bellatoris and the natural order of the world? I simply cannot carry sacks.
They say clothes maketh the man. And you don't look much like a noble right now. So, I don't think the natural order will collapse if you get your hands dirty.
What do you know about a nobleman's honour? It's not long since I had to drag one sack through the night. And if I hadn't, that sack wouldn't be here now. So I think I've done my fair share. I mean it, Henry. Stop trying to push me.
Suit yourself, then. So, you simply aren't going to work?
Come now, Henry. You can manage those few sacks by yourself.
Right. I'll get to work. Alone.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I'll scratch your back later.
How? While giving me a large estate?
That too, of course. Maybe 2 estates. But above all, once we're out of the worst, I'll help you find your dog. As soon as we have at least some gear, we'll head into the forest and find Mutt in a trice. Although, if you think about the 3 states of man, looking for lost dogs is more like a huntsman's work. But let's pay no mind to that.
How generous of you, Lord Capon.
I know, my dear Henry, such is my nature.
If I decided to steal her, would you help me?
What? Greetings.
With a cup, of course.
Are you the bailiff's son?
Hi, that's me. Who are you?
One day, ruin their time.
I'm Henry.
Or take her to
I'll probably forget after a few tankards anyway.
the
What do you
clearing
want?
to me that
You don't think you're gonna wangle some coin out of me, do you?
No, no.
we could come
I'll
up
just
with
have a couple of questions.
take her away.
Ask away. I have plenty of time.
You know, so she's safe.
What's going on here in the region apart from that?
Apart from the bandits, nothing much. Life's peaceful enough. The war has steered clear of us, thankfully. Lord von Berghoff is respected throughout the kingdom. But high politics is nothing for me. I don't stick my nose into it.
I heard there's going to be a big wedding in these parts.
Aye, that's true. My sister is marrying young Lord Samine. A big affair. Guests from the whole region will come. Maybe from as far away as Gutenberg. Even von Berghoff will come. That's how important our family is.
Look, I need to pass on an important message to von Berghoff. But I can't get into the castle because of what happened to us. Do you think you could...
Invite you? Not a chance. I don't know you from Adam.
It would only be for a while.
Look, loads of lackeys like you will be needed at the wedding. Try asking for a job. I'm not saying you're sure to get to von Berghoff that way, but you can try.
With a plan to take her away. Somewhere she's out of sight. You know, so she's safe.
You must know young Lord Semine, don't you?
Aye, he's a close friend. Although he's been acting a bit odd recently.
Odd?
Manage a pig that size.
Odd how?
He spends more time in the woods than at home, always riding off somewhere and doesn't want to talk about it. Maybe he'll be his old self after the wedding.
Easy does it. Deep breaths.
I'd like to ask about the wedding again.
No, I'm not inviting you. Forget it.
Thanks. I have to be off.
Wait a moment. Since you're here, do you play dice? It occurred to me we could roll a few. What do you say?
I've got nothing to wager.
That's a shame. It's no fun if there's nothing at stake. You know what? If you beat me, we'll work something out with the wedding.
You'd invite us, you mean?
You'd have to beat me first. And that's not going to happen.
Or take her to the butcher. And the more I think about it,
I've got neither the time nor the inclination for dice.
Shame. If you should change your mind, stop by.
take her
Farewell. The beer's
somewhere
gotta
she's
flow.
out of sight.
Where is that bloody innkeeper?
Oof! That isn't half heavy. Oh,
Taking their time again.
A large beer for me. God bless you. What's the hold up? Bottoms up.
qui dicit
Bring
non
me
qui
something to
negat.
eat.
Is that supposed to be Latin?
Clever you. Do you know what it means?
No. And I doubt you do either.
The burden of proof is on the one who declares, not on the one who denies. So you see, I speak Latin. I've just proven to you that I'm a nobleman.
You've proved fuck all. Remembering some words you heard in church doesn't make you a nobleman. What's your name again?
Hans Capon of Perkstein.
You just made that up.
I certainly did not.
Yes, you did. I never heard of any Perkstein in all my years.
I'm not
Enjoy your
surprised.
meal.
You're just a village yokel.
Did you
How
hear
dare you?
what happened to the
I'm
people?
the son of the bailiff. I heard about the attack by the pond, actually. I heard.
Going down nicely, is it?
And no
Going down a
stranger
tree.
Survived.
That was our company. Von Bergov's men.
Proving it?
We lost everything. How hard is that to understand?
What?
Hey, innkeeper, that beer.
I expect you to be more sympathetic. What did you say?
See it again.
It was their own fault.
What do you mean? They attacked themselves? Or what the fuck are you trying to say?
Everyone knows it's dangerous around Trotsky. Making camp in such an unprotected place is suicide.
Where else were they supposed to make camp, smart-ass?
Somewhere in the rocks, maybe. Not out in the open by the pond. Only a fool would do that.
But calm down, both of you.
I'm perfectly calm. It's your chum here who's ranting and raving.
Pack it in, Henry. There's no point in arguing with this yokel. He fancies himself as a military strategist.
I don't believe a word you're saying. A weed like you surviving a fight against bandits even von Berghoff himself has trouble with?
Believe what you like, but I'm telling the truth. And in fact, I'm willing to overlook all your insults if you apologize right now. And invite me to that wedding.
Oh, you want to come to the wedding, do you? Huh. I'll give you the same advice I gave your little chum. If you can make yourself useful for the blacksmith or the miller, you'll get to the wedding. You'll see the glorious occasion, at least from a distance. And you can stop spouting your pathetic lies.
I am Sir Hans Capon, Lord of Perkstein, and I demand your immediate apology.
I am Sir Hans Capon, Lord of Perkstein. Sir Hans Capon, Lord of Perkstein. You're starting to bore me. You and your silly made-up name.
No apology, then. It looks like I'm going to have to teach you a lesson.
Oh, I'm so scared.
That's enough. Cut it out, both of you.
Mind your own business. Take your ragamuffin friend and get the fuck out of our village.
I give you a chance to apologize, and you keep insulting me. Get ready to pick up your broken teeth with broken fingers.
Oh, I'd like to see that. Come on, then.
You scum!
I'll get you. It was him.
Stop beating him.
Fucking hell. He knows how to sword fight.
Hey! Get him!
Now we'll have you, you scum.
Fucking hell!
Shame on you.
Come on then!
I'll hack your ass off.
Enough's enough! Time to die, you bastard!
Useless.
Nice hit! Surround him! You're no match for us! Your stuff! Take that! Kick the bucket, you shit! Yeah!
All yours.
Send my greetings to the devil!
That won't work on me! Good! Get a gun, you arson!
To hell with you, you scum.
Now
You're
you're finished.
dead.
He's nearly... Yeah! Don't bury him! Why'd he...
What now?
Hey, get it!
I'll smash you up!
Yeah!
Let's see what you're made of, you bastard.
What the hell is going on here? Grab them vagabonds!
Bastards! This will cost you dearly. Keep your mouth shut and don't make it worse. What? You behave like a spoilt brat. How dare you speak... Oh. You know, if you just shut up and done some work, we'd have coin by now and be on our way to the castle, but no, not his lordship. You've got a nerve. If you hadn't have played the hero, we'd have been there long since and I wouldn't have had to get you out of that mess. Oh yeah, because this isn't a mess, is it? Fuck off!
Shut up! Or you'll get a whipping too.
Just who the hell do you think you are?
I'm the only one of us with any sense. I'm not the one who acts like a spoiled child.
Spoiled child? You're in danger of crossing the line, Henry. Better keep your mouth shut. I shouldn't have brought you along.
Well, that's something we can agree on. I could have been sitting in the mill instead of rotting in these stocks.
And whose fault is that?
What? Who started quarrelling with the locals in their tavern? You should have listened to me and calmed down.
And let him insult me? Fat chance. If it hadn't been for me, we wouldn't have even been in that tavern. We've been in the shit right from the start because you had to play at being the knight in shining underwear, saving damsels in distress.
I don't believe it. You're trying to put the blame on me? Just like that?
Who else is to blame? You're just a simple peasant who has no idea how the world works.
Oh, and our little prince knows all about it, doesn't he? You only left your uncle's a week ago. All you've known up to now is a tavern on Rat-Eye Green.
Now you've gone too far. I've had it up to here with you. With you and your pontificating. You were supposed to make sure nothing went wrong. And how did that turn out? It was me who had to save your life. You're fucking useless. You couldn't even keep an eye on your own mutt.
That's enough. Don't you fucking realise how badly you've been wronging me all this time? I bend over backwards for you. I tolerate all your stupid fucking whims. And what do I get? Insults and accusations. But right from the start, you acted like you were on some nobleman's outing. All you cared about was whoring and boozing. You know full well the ambush was your fault, and now you're kicking out so you don't have to admit it.
What do you...
But let me finish. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth like you, but unlike you, I'd have managed to deliver that message. And that's because I'm responsible and know how to behave in a way that doesn't make me feel ashamed. In a way that would make my parents proud of me.
Which parents do you mean? Radzig?
Aye, Radzig, let's say. Nobody could be proud of you, Capon. Nobody.
We'll see who's proud of who.
Right, ladies. Time to go home. But I swear to Christ, if I catch you again, I'm gonna skin you both alive.
Isn't that?
Master Otto!
Hey! Open Virgo!
Oh, shit. Right, where were we? Go on, get out of my sight!
What are we gonna do?
You can do as you like. You can go and carry sacks or dig latrines. I'll look after myself. I'll go and see Lord von Berghoff at the wedding. I bid you farewell.
Alright. Yeah. If I were in your shoes, I'd be glad to be rid of the good for nothing, eh? Yeah. Alright, off you go.
I suppose I
Henry?
really do need to find some job. I'll find muck without you, you stuck-up Lord of Perkstein.
You're Henry, right? Or was it the other one? Hey, you! Hey! Over here! It's about time. Come here! Do you...
What do you want from me?
I don't want anything from you. I should actually be thanking you.
Uh-huh. For what?
I've been begging for alms here for days, but I didn't make any real coin till today. And that's thanks to you. The scene you made brought out nearly all of Troskowitz.
You don't have to thank me. I could have done without it. And that fracas in front of the tavern as well.
Oh well, not many people can make such a strong first impression. But look on the bright side.
Hmm?
Now things can only get better.
Barely. Look at me. They just let me out of the pillory. Nobody wants anything to do with me. And I don't even know what hill that is over there.
Well, that there hill is Slatego. And you pull yourself together. Like Tomcat says, nothing's impossible. And bruises build character.
Hey, you. What's your name, anyway? What do you do?
I'm Bara. Just Bara.
Looks like you know your way around here pretty good. You're from here, right?
I ain't. I'm just passing through.
Why exactly are you helping me?
Why? Why? Because you look like you need it. I've been in the ship plenty of times, and I know how appreciated a helping hand is in times like that.
Where are you headed? If you're only passing through here.
For work, to the city. I'm tired of serving landholders. They all promise the moon, but then you're eating stale bread, cold porridge, and a nary a groschen in sight. With the city folk, it's bound to be better.
You said you're going to a city. You mean like to Prague? Or somewhere further?
I'd like to go to Prague, but I don't know anybody there. In Kuttenberg, at least I have a cousin.
Aha. So you're going to visit her?
Well, she doesn't know it yet. But I won't be troubling her long, just until I find a way to make a living.
What do you want to do in the city?
I'll find something. I'm not afraid of work. I'm not half-witted. Maybe someone could use a cook or a servant.
Don't get your hopes up. The city can be a pretty dangerous place for a girl on her own.
You mean they don't hand out groschen by the bucketful? And the streets aren't full of roasted stuffed geese? I appreciate your concern, but I have to get to the city first. That's going to take me a long while yet.
You're something like a wanderer?
Nah, I usually find work with someone, stay for a while, and once I save a bit, I move on.
Then why are you begging here?
Sometimes I collect herbs for the apothecary or help in the tavern. But I'd like to go somewhere else, so I'm scraping up whatever I can. But on the whole, you could say I'm a traveller or a nomad. But don't say it too loud. The locals don't take kindly to them.
Why?
Because they're different, and it scares people. They travel from place to place and take their home with them.
I'd like to see what their homes look like.
You can go and see them, just don't stare too long.
Do you know anything more about Tomcat?
They say he's a master swordsman, but a real joker too. He loves showing off to girls.
Do you think Tomcat might teach me a few of his tricks?
No offence, but compared to him, you're a bit of a lightweight.
I don't want to pull wagons, but if he can handle a weapon, I'd be happy to train a little with him.
Well, one of the guards tried to take him on and came back whipped like a dog, moaning like he'd been broken in two.
Well, sure. If he's that strong, I'm not surprised.
More like some trick he's got that our watch doesn't know. Or at least that's what the poor man said.
Where might I run into Tomcat?
In the camp by the tower. That is, by Rock Tower Pond. He watches the camp for the nomads.
Should I watch out for them?
No, I don't think so. They mind their own business, but strangers usually mean trouble for them, so they're careful. Try not to stare too hard and hold your tongue, otherwise Tomcat will show you some of his other skills.
How does he show off for the girls?
With his muscles. He ricks logs with his hands. He even let himself be run over by a loaded hay wagon. Crazy. But to be fair to him, he sometimes helps people. Stanislav's sheep fell into a pit one time.
And Tomcat pulled it out?
And, not just that, he crawled down to get it. And when he found the poor thing had a broken leg, he carried it on his back all the way home.
I have no money. I might as well beg on the village green like you.
The hell you will. This is my turf. Here you go. I'll skip supper. It's partly your doing anyway.
Wow. I mean, Thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, don't start crying. You'd better find some work quick.
Damn. I could use a horse. It'll take years to get to Semin on foot.
Don't exaggerate. This province is small.
Still, it'll be faster with a horse.
There's a stud farm in Semin, renowned far and wide.
And which way is Semin?
Southwest from here, not too far. There's a road goes right there from the green. Just go down the hill. Once you see the walled farmhouse, you're there. Though I'll be a queen before you can afford a horse from Semin.
It's no wonder nobody wants anything to do with me. I look like a vagrant.
At least you're not walking around bare-assed. Although that might not be a sorry sight.
Ah, very funny. I'd rather you tell me where I might get some clothes.
And what do you have in mind? Brocade and satin, a monk's robe, or perhaps Sir Brunswick's armour?
I'd like to look distinguished, like the proper right hand of a highborn lord.
After what you did here, I'd say your days as a right hand are over.
Still, I don't want to look like some yokel.
Without money, you can't deck yourself out in much finery. You'd certainly find something fancy in Bartoszek's workshop. And if anybody asks, you didn't hear it from me.
Thanks, but I'd rather get my clothes honestly. I just got out of the pillory. I don't want to end up there again.
Well, I'm not pushing you, just giving you a few useful tips. What you do with them is up to you.
Do you know where I might find accommodation?
Betty in the tavern lets people sleep in the hay. But you have to pay.
I'm not going near that tavern. I'd catch hell again. Got any other ideas?
If you find some work, maybe you'll get a place to sleep too.
My main concern is getting to that wedding in Semin. Do you know anything about that celebration?
Well, yeah. People are talking of nothing else. The Lord's son is getting married to the sister of that lout you was fighting with.
How much time do you think I have? Have the preparations already begun?
From what I hear, the bride's dress still ain't finished and blacksmith Radovan still ain't started smithing the gift for the groom. So, no rush.
Hopefully by then I'll find a way to sneak in. Oh well, it was nice to meet you, but I should probably get going. Get a job, and so on.
Don't worry, you'll manage. Till we meet again.
Take care then, and thanks for nothing. What would you like?
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last 2 hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge.
Fuck yourself.
Put him in the stocks!
Go over to the anvil and let's get started. Get to it. I want to see how you'll fare. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works the bellows. Be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? It's the color of straw, which is what you want. And you heated the whole thing up. Nicely done. Now you can go straight to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. What's the matter? You're not scared of it, are ya? See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has 2 sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge. Heat it all up. Come over to the anvil. That, besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. Sparks. The stuff. Struck. Sparks. That's the stuff. The ring you want. Well struck. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. That's the ring you want. There you go. Got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up, and by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
What's the right way to heat up the workpiece?
Do it till it turns the color of straw. Ideally, the color should be the same everywhere, if your forging's going to be even. The main thing is, don't work it cold. You just ruin it. But don't overheat it either. As soon as sparks start to fly off it in the furnace, take it out.
Why should I forge evenly?
If you keep hammering the same spot, you'll never finish it. You'll just fuck it up. But jumping from one end to the other ain't a good idea neither. You'd end up working unevenly. The best thing to do is aim each strike next to the one before.
How will I know it's finished?
Notice the shape. The closer you are to finishing, the more precise the shape it will have.
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them. Though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. And they can't afford it neither.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house, there are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work.
I have to hammer it more evenly. I've been banging this spot for a long time.
Don't cause any trouble, got it? Maybe next time.
It's as cold as a dog's snout. I've been banging this spot for a long time. This is useless. I should move it. It's already cooled off. It's not worth it. I should move it. I should do it more evenly. It's already cooled down. It's as cold as a dog's snout. I hope I don't fuck it all up. Kurva! I fucked it up.
Fuck me.
I'll never finish it like this. I should move it. This is useless. I should move it. I've been banging this spot for a long time. Good. This won't take long now. I should heat it up again. And that's that.
Christ, what a day. What do you need? Hurry up, I don't have all day. It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semine that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semine.
Those two hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semine wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Samin's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. I'd like you to teach me something.
Yeah, all right. But it will cost you. What are you interested in?
I'm still not really sure of myself in the forge. Could you show me again how it's done?
Why not? Better to practice now than fuck up an order. Why don't you forge me another hunting sword? Have you got what you need?
Yeah, I have.
Let's see what you can do then. Are you gonna get started then? Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. Leave it a moment. Take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? It's the color of straw, which is what you want. And you heated the whole thing up. Nicely done. Now you can go straight to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back and heat it all up again, like before. Over to the anvil. flying nicely. The ring you want. See how it's taking on the right shape? Now you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a beat to a beat, the work goes by easy. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking.
Greetings to you.
To you too.
Lord be with you. Ave Maria.
I suppose so.
Jesus Christ be praised. What do you want here, you scoundrel? Why'd you barge in here?
What's new around here?
Vostatek. Lord von Beregov's huntsman is a regular here. He might have some work for you. He's got a cottage near Vidlak Pond. So if you know your way around the woods, you could go and offer him your help. I hope he hasn't started drinking somewhere else. He's my best customer. You could also stop by and see Old Mouth. He's the local storyteller. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things, but only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. I'm working on a little practical joke myself. We have this little dispute with the Geliovites. You might be interested. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper. You're having problems with the Geliovites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year, they broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your aim back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Gelievites right away.
Well, if you've got it all figured out, why don't you do it yourself?
Right. And who's going to run the inn in the meantime, eh? Besides, everyone in Gelioff knows us. If someone from here shows up there, they'll get suspicious.
All right. I'll help you.
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Gelioff, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is. The finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Olbram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right, then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Gelioff lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial, but the Gelievites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper arse kicking so he'd remember it, and remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way round, and that pasture belonged to Gelioff.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Gelievites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Olbram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Gelievites are at wit's end, they come at us, and nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
Have you tried asking Lord von Burgov for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Olbram ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, I'm listening.
Do we have a deal?
That's more like it. Lower your price a little more and we can make a deal.
I could go for that price.
Thank you. And a good day to you, friend.
What was I just thinking about?
People call you the mouth, right? They say you tell all sorts of stories.
I'm no mouth to you. My name is Dunyek, got that? What do people call you then? Bughead? Arseface?
I'm sorry, Stenyak. I'm Henry.
Pleased to meet you. But you were right about the stories. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
How can I know if it'll be worth it?
If you don't believe me, ask anyone. They all know me in the village, and they all know I'm good.
So they all sing your praises, even if you stutter?
You know what? Go to hell. You can bugger right off if you're looking to insult me. But if you want to listen, you better cough up some coin.
I know quite a few stories myself. How about a trade? A story for a story.
All right, then. But if it's the one about the magic porridge pot, don't bother. I've heard it 100 times. And that story always leaves me feeling hungry.
Do you know the story about the boy whose pa sent him to steal an evil ogre's treasure?
No, I don't. How does it end?
Well, unfortunately, the evil ogre, Kunesh, catches the boy and eats him, bones and all.
Is that all you got? You wouldn't get a single copper coin for that.
Let's see. How about the one about the band of knights and the gold ring they kept stealing from each other?
That doesn't sound any better.
To your health, my friend.
Thank you very much. I knew you wouldn't leave me high and dry. So what kind of story would you like to hear?
I like stories that can teach me something. Stories with a moral.
Haven't you heard enough of those in church? But it's not a problem. I have just the tale for you. And it's not one you'll hear from any priest. So, once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, at the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He'd pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the silver axe back. He searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
Wait, Matthias threw the silver axe back? What a fool! He could have sold it.
A fool, you say? You'd better listen well. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep both axes." Matthias, not hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth. So, he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself. So he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one!" But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, the water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down whole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
Oh, that's so cruel. I feel sorry for Kuba.
Aye, and so did Matthias. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used a silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against the big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier, where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
That was a very nice story.
Story? What story? It's the truth.
Why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe, then?
Because it brings misfortune. Didn't you listen to me at all? Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Water Goblin's Pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. I'm fine here with my drink. See you later.